The number of single people in the world has risen, and it's still rising. There's a lot of speculation as to why that actually is, but I think I know why. I'm going to share it with you. So when we look at the stats on this, we find that it's about 25% and increasing of people are single. And between men and women, you find there's a lot more young men who are single and older women who are single. But that just comes down to the age gap in relationships. Men are usually about 2.5 years older than women in the same relationship. And so you've got a gap at the bottom for men and you've got a gap at the top for women. That doesn't explain what's going on. And then we have the Me Too movement and the 4B movement. And a lot of women just getting sick of men being gross and predatory. And that's fair enough. However, at the same time, there's a similar number of men electing not to be in a relationship. So what's going on there? So what we need to do is actually ask people what they think. Have a look at what men say about relationships and what women say about relationships. What you find is men quite often say that as they get deeper into a relationship, they become less happy, less satisfied with the way their life's going, because they stop doing the things they like doing. They stop going out with their mates and playing sport, and they end up at home much more often than they would like. When you look at what women say about relationships, if you go to a dating site, you'll see women say, I want a long-term relationship. And they're quite aggressive about that because they don't want the same thing as what the man wants. The man wants a casual relationship. He wants to be able to go out and do whatever he wants to do, but then still have an intimate relationship with a woman and come home and sleep together, have sex, have the intimacy, but also have the freedom. And that tends to break down as relationships develop and men become less happy with it. And so after relationships, you find they spend time getting back to the things that they wanted to do, that they weren't able to do when they were in a relationship. And that's an interesting phenomenon because I don't think anybody really talks about that. I see a lot of stats about this, but there's nobody really talking about what people actually say about relationships. And guess what? Increasingly, women are feeling the same way. Especially after raising children, being locked in, doing a lot of work, spending a lot of time just raising a family, working hard. They've had enough. And what we're seeing recently is the number of single dads is increasing as women are actually walking away from the whole thing. They're even walking out of the family unit and leaving the kids behind because they've had enough. So maybe that tells us something really important. So is it possible that we've been doing relationships wrong all this time? Are we locking our spouse in and making them unhappy by expecting them to spend too much time with us? Do we need to give them the freedom and ensure that they're out doing the things that give them satisfaction and allow them to be happy in the relationship while still having that intimacy, that closeness that we actually really desire? I'd really love to hear everybody's comments on this because I think it's something that's not talked about that really needs to be, because relationships seem to be failing these days at a higher rate than ever and people are not entering them because they don't see the value. Let me know what you think.